It appears as though Caitlin Clark may be making a dramatic return. As you are all aware, the only popular player in the WNBA is Caitlin Clark. Another video of Caitlin Clark taking shots in Atlanta just before this playoff game has surfaced. It goes without saying that the Indiana Fever will play their third game tonight. Kayla Clark can apply pressure to that leg now that she's returned. Kayla Clark can now make logo threes. She did in fact miss one of them, but what the devil. Caitlin Clark appears to be unstoppable in the chaotic practice clip that was released 2 minutes ago. She appears ready for the finals based on her logo threes and game-ready plays. A video of Caitlin Clark filming logo 3 is going viral on the internet. And the clip is really great, dude. Bro, they got it from her in a completely different place. Fever Shootaround has released new video. Yes, Caitlin Clark was really focused, making three-pointers, moving fluidly, and hanging out with her teammates as if they were getting ready to play. Applause is all up in this right here, right there, and she's just hanging around and shooting threes out there. This is exactly what a player does when they're going to play, I thought. Then another video of Clark taking shots on the court surfaced from Atlanta prior to a postseason game. The video went viral online, raising even more concerns about whether she's actually getting closer to making a comeback than the team is admitting. And dude, I simply detest this. The fans are kind of donkeying a character for the entire summer, which I detest. She's coming, I see. Day by day, week by week, she hasn't really been planning to return. Man, it seems like there is more Caitlin Clark workout videos every day these days. I'm not claiming that she will return, but how can you not take a chance if I'm the Fever and she is actually well and qualified? You have to give her a chance to win a title. Video of Caitlin Clark working out is being released. I'm not claiming that she will return for good, but there are definitely gaps. There are methods for her to come back. And there's no doubt that you will allow Caitlin Clark to return if I have the Indiana Fever. Kane Clark is really ready to leave, and you only have one chance to win the WNBA championship. Clark underwent a thorough pre-game shootout even before to Game 3. Her warm-up alone sent supporters into a frenzy, but she never checked in. Perhaps she's more prepared than everybody thought. She's working out properly before the game. As in, what's going on? Before the third game, she is going through a pre-game shootout. She isn't playing tonight, of course, but it seems like she's still qualified. I have a different film on this, and I will discuss Scott Agnes's situation at a later time. However, Caitlin Clark is unable to avoid basketball. Without Caitlin Clark, the Indiana Fever just pulled off an incredible upset. Even in triumph, though, her name took the stage. If this team can make it to the semifinals without her, viewers couldn't help but wonder how deadly they would be if she returned to the court. Without Caitlin Clark, they accomplished this. They are carrying a lot of burdens. They have a lot to defend, and the battle continues. I'm thrilled to be a fan. This is what I had predicted. Everyone else believed they would lose today, but I assured them that momentum is real. You can defeat a behemoth if you have momentum, dude. There is no denying that Clark remains the only genuine mainstream star in the WNBA. Her most recent practice videos quickly went viral, demonstrating the amount of excitement she generates simply by taking the court. As you are all aware, the only popular player in the WNBA is Caitlin Clark. The mainstream media, however, deserves praise for their outstanding work in cleaning this dung. The media is very good at making people believe that the WNBA is booming, but in actuality, WNBA success is similar to basketball success. It is fictitious. It's a lie. And she appears close based on the video I'm going to show you. Although she hasn't yet participated in real contact drills, her shot, release, and rhythm all shout readiness. And I'm telling you now that she appears to be prepared to return based on the video I'm going to show you. Granted, we haven't seen Kayla Clark in any physical situations where she's being pushed or anything, but for her shooting, letting go, and everything else. Speculation only intensified as the Fever prepared for Game 3. According to reporters, Clark is theoretically allowed to go back. Fans are excited about the prospect of a semi-final comeback every time they catch a sight of her during warm-ups. It goes without saying that the Indiana Fever will play Game 3 tonight. Scott Agnes tweets, and let me tell you something. Whatever your thoughts are about Scott Agnes, the closest thing to an insider is Scott Agnes. As I indicated yesterday, there is increasing conjecture that Caitlin Clark might actually return under the existing WNBA regulations. We've already explained how it's feasible, and the picture is starting to take shape. However, as I mentioned to you guys yesterday, a lot of people are wondering that, under the current WNBA regulations, Caitlin Carter might be returning. I reviewed that yesterday, I guess. It is not something I will revisit. We all seem to comprehend how she could return, I believe. Basically, it depends on whether Dantas is out for the season. A barrage of inquiries was raised by videos showing Clark moving effortlessly in the shootout. Why is she so active if she is officially ruled out? Her return may be closer than the Fever wants to acknowledge. Fans can't help but worry. I mean, it just does. People start to wonder, what the hell is going on here? What's going on, really? Seeing her recover is encouraging. Why wouldn't she just be off her feet even though it does? It is not expected that she will return. I mean, we think it would be the earliest she ever played basketball again. Furthermore, I believe that many of us don't believe she will play in that level. You would therefore be looking at May of the following year. What are we doing? She reportedly injured her ankle during a workout. And yet there she was, practicing at full speed, firing, running. Even after the videos became viral, insiders continue to make the same claims. It's the end of her season. It's Scott Agnes. Scott Agnes is this person. Yeah, sure, she's eligible, but she's out this season. The decision has been made, said Denny Scott. It's not the growing, it's the ankle, he added. Bro, he's their poster boy. They assign him to do this because he is their poster boy. I can't even read this, I'll bet you. I can't even read this, I'll bet you. He will most likely charge you to read it. Look, this is a sponsored post. People are paying to read the fucking story, dude. Here's the bottom line, though. There is no reason to keep Caitlin Clark on the sidelines if she is genuinely well. She appears more than prepared based on what we can observe. I have to admit, buddy, this simply does not stack up to get Kayla Clark back into action. Because it wouldn't make sense for them to not play her if she was prepared to go. I simply have to be honest, bro, if she's ready. And the appearance of it? Here's another clip. Scott Agnes had one the other day, I believe. Caitlin Clark had been running, cutting, and moving at full pace for weeks, as observers could not help but notice. Many people are certain that the Fever don't want her to return to the court this season because she is still out. Because this wouldn't be taking place if her trainer had fired her for the season. She wouldn't be doing semi-full speed exercises if her trainer stopped her for the season. You would work out at this speed, but it's not game speed. You would shoot around at this speed. She has been observed to reach her maximum speed. We've witnessed her sprinting. We have witnessed her make abrupt changes in direction. It takes about a week to go from changing directions at full speed to playing while suffering from a groin strain. It was a month. Suffering from a groin strain. It was a month. We have been hearing about that for the past month. The club continued to emphasize that Clark was out due to a season-ending injury even after they had advanced. Fans, however, didn't buy it. Not when she appeared so engaged and prepared in each practice video that was released. Due to season-ending injuries, Kayla Clark and 4 other players left the Indiana Fever. For the first time since 2015, when she pulled off a stunning upset over the number 3 seed Atlanta Dream with a comeback victory, they have now guaranteed her a place in the semifinals. Stunning. There is real momentum. Guys, momentum is real. I also informed you that it was proceeding. With Turner, it was spot on. Momentum. Additionally, the Indiana Fever possessed the drive to bring this thing home and win this dub. And I'm really a crowy happy, buddy folks. The Fever's playoff game attracted hardly half as many spectators without Clark as it had the previous year. Fans were left wondering what was actually true after that dip, which only served to fuel rumors that the team and the league handled her injury tale poorly. One was drawn by the Indiana Felines. This past Sunday, 8 million people watched the first game of the playoffs. Not Caitlin Clark, no, Sophie Cunningham. Bob Guerrier, who played a total of 8 minutes, was the biggest star this past Sunday. ABC has 951,000 viewers of Felines Atlanta Dreamers. At shoot-arounds, she has been observed. In practice, she has been observed making accurate shots. The video continues to circulate. Some people think the Fever is a cover for something. That a quiet Clark resurgence might be imminent. Kayla Clark has to be activated and given her full potential, in my opinion. She has been observed during shoot-arounds. In practice, she has been spotted. People have seen her shooting the ball. They're probably working on something. I believe Caitlin might be returning in secret. Another twist was introduced by reporter Scott Agnes. The Fever have decided to sit Clark, citing her ankle injury as the cause, even though she is technically eligible to return. Nonetheless, a lot of people think the franchise hasn't been completely truthful with its audience. Scott, can you tell us if Caitlin is eligible to return for a playoff game this season? We know they said she's out for the season, but does that mean she's not eligible to play in the playoffs? Someone replied here, sure, she's eligible, but she's out for the season. The decision has been made. The Fever are now only 1 victory away from the semifinals. And the query that everyone is posing is straightforward. What happens if Caitlin Clark returns? Her on-court presence would immediately change the course of events, transforming Indiana from an optimistic underdog into a real contender for the championship. They have an opportunity to advance and win the WNBA championship if they go to the semifinals and Caitlin Clark returns. It's all different with Caitlin Clark. Their chances of winning the WNBA championship would be next to none. Fans cannot exclude the likelihood that she may be cleared despite the lingering uncertainties. When Clark enters the lineup, everything changes. The Fever is twice as hazardous because of her range, vision, and gravitas on the court, as if they were in a position to win a chip. And rather than considering this, they won't even allow Caitlin Clark to return, since they most likely don't believe that the group they have will win anything. Michael Jeffrey Jordan and Caitlin are on your fucking team, and you're not letting her return for the postseason. And you guys genuinely believe they'll let her go to Unrival? The crazy part comes next. Indiana might get to the championships even if Caitlin Clark only played 15 minutes per night. Her kind of shooter opens lanes, stretches the defense, and provides her teammates with the space they've been lacking. Caitlin Clark's 15 minutes per night could be sufficient to advance the Beaver to the finals if we play the Seattle Storm. We may advance to the finals with a half-healthy Caitlin Clark, playing 15 minutes per game if we win today and advance to the Storm. Oh, you're not a doctor. What are you talking about, man? These doctors don't seem that no one seems to know what's going on. The Indiana Fever are back in the semifinals for the first time in a decade. Though many people think the story won't be fully finished until Caitlin Clark returns to lead the squad even further, the upset had supporters everywhere celebrating. And we'll be going to the freaking semifinals against the Indiana Fever for the first time in 10 years, guys. That team was ranked 6th. They ought to have been ranked 2 or 3. We are aware of what took place. Adversity. Adversity is conquered and you succeed. This game in Atlanta was won by them. As I previously mentioned, everything depends on if Clearest is declared out for the season. The Fever would have the choice to reactivate an existing player and slide an injured player off the roster if she is. Among them is Caitlin Clark, who was not activated at the start of the playoffs, but is still eligible to return under league regulations if a roster slot becomes available. In the event that Dantas is sidelined for the season, they may choose to activate an injured player or an existing member of the roster. Since they didn't have Caitlin Clark on the roster before the playoffs began, she can be added as long as there is a roster place available and one player is sidelined for the season due to injury. Fans are all too familiar with what the mainstream media has already highlighted. Postseason games are losing a significant portion of their viewership in Caitlin's absence. However, if she returned to the court in the semifinals, the league might have a record-breaking moment and its viewership would skyrocket. A'ja Wilson is treated like a superstar by the media. Furthermore, she has yet to attract 500,000 spectators to the season's most important game. This is the reason the WNBA has been concealing its ratings during the regular season, I assure you. I would like you to consider something. Supporters are certain she's prepared. Caitlin Clark's energy, demeanor, and practice sessions all suggest that she can go. Not only would the Fever's chances of winning the championship increase if they allowed her to return, it would fundamentally change the season's storyline. Based on the audience at the beginning of the season, I would have anticipated 3 million people if Caitlin Clark had been playing. That is what I assume the viewership would have been. There was 0. 95 million. The Aces simply outdrew them. 66% of respondents replied, "I'm not bothered watching." 66% answered, "No." Everything changes in an instant if the Fever go to the playoffs and Caitlin Clark makes a comeback. They have a legitimate chance to take home the WNBA title. The Michael Jeffrey Jordan of this age, Caitlin Clark, is on your roster, but you won't use her to her full potential in the postseason. She's back and looking more impressive than ever as she drills logo threes. To be honest, she appears prepared. She turns around. Clark could swing the series in Indiana's favor and send them straight to the finals with just 15 minutes per night. The Fever are on their way to the semifinals for the first time in 10 years. They have an opportunity to advance and win the WNBA championship if they go to the semifinals and Caitlin Clark returns. They're not letting her return, dude, and they're in the playoffs. Now that she's returned, Caitlin Clark may exert pressure on that leg. Kayla Clark can now make logo threes. She missed one of them, to be sure, but wow, she looked like she was back, guy. Caitlin Clark could undoubtedly help the Indiana Fever get to the finals, particularly if we face the Seattle Storm. Additionally, the Indiana Fever will be making it to the freaking semifinals for the first time in 10 years. As you are all aware, the only popular player in the WNBA is Caitlin Clark. Now the only question is whether they will allow Caitlin Clark to return and advance this run. The wait is nearly over. Caitlin Clark is prepared to move on to the semifinals. Don't waste any time. To receive the most recent updates, like subscribe and share.